All right, how's it going, everybody? This is Jose Trujillo. I'm an artist, and this is hammer time. Get your coffee on, get ready. Right now, it is, I think it's Monday morning, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's Monday morning, and let's get some light. And it is time to get your hustle on. Those of you who are artists and are looking to be inspired, get inspired, and all this stuff. I mean, those things are important, guys. You want to be inspired. You want to try to get inspired and do all these things that help your career, right? Help your mindset and your career. Staying in this positive mindset. It is a difficult endeavor, guys, to stay in a positive mindset unless you have the right activity, and the right decisions. Right? What is the right activity? What is the right decisions? This is a very out of the ordinary thing to do. It's very out of the ordinary. The right activity is not. It's you're working more than everyone else. That's the right activity. Right? The right activity is that it's not that it's right or wrong, but the adequate. I would say the working the winning. Let me call it that. The winning activity is that you create more activity than everyone else. That is the winning activity. And the decision making is that you make decisions quick, you make decisions fast. And one of the things that has stopped me over and over in my tracks as an artist is that I'll do the right activity, but my decisions tend to be slow. Right? They tend to be slow, and this is one of the things that has stopped me. It has held me back. I know this. I know this for a fact. This is one of the things that has helped me back. And if it has done that to me, that some people feel like, oh my God, you're winning, you're making a living as an artist, and this and that. It's not nearly as much as I can do. I'm nowhere near as much as I can do. I know that for a fact. And so I want to remind you guys this. Look, if you are an artist and you're not producing the right amount of activity, you need to. Okay, and if you're an artist who's producing a lot of activity, but you're not taking the right actions, then you're not taking actions on the spot. You are also hurting yourself. You're hurting yourself very bad. If you're a person who's taking actions on the spot but not producing activity, you're also hurting yourself a lot. Say hi, dude.
Hi.
This is my son, Daniel.
Quick question, Dad.
What's up?
How would I fix my computer's Wi-Fi when it can't connect to our Wi-Fi here?
It has a little button that has an antenna with things like that.
Okay.
Like this, look. Look for this button. It's on the keyboard. Okay? It's got a button that has this.
Okay.
Here. Now look for it. It's on the keyboard. Somewhere on the top or the bottom. Just look for it all over the keyboard. So you have to provide the right amount of activity, guys. Now this can be tricky though. This can be tricky because many times we think that the right amount of activity is when you get tired, and that is not it. When you get tired, you got to go past that. But there will come a point, and you don't have to wait for it though. There will come a point where no matter how much you're doing, you will not grow. Hey, how's it going? No matter how much you do, you will not grow. There will come that point. No matter how much you do, no matter how much you personally do, like your personal efforts, you're not going to grow. There will come a point where you're doing so much and you're starting to feel the income coming in or the opportunities or the growth, but then you're going to hit this wall. There's this wall that you're going to hit. And that well has nothing to do with you. You're going to start scratching your head and you're going to start asking yourself, oh man, is it my work ethic? Is it my artwork is not great? Is it that people are just not buying right now? People are not buying artwork right now. Is it, all these things? You're going to come up with all these things. And you will experience this for years. This is what happened to me. You will experience this. I'm trying to talk to you guys about this, so in hopes that maybe you don't go through this shit that I went through. You don't go through this bullshit of oh yeah, and then this low. Oh my God, what's going on? Oh yeah. Now this lows, highs and lows happen for different reasons. Two main ones. One, you don't have enough heart into it. There's not enough commitment, so you will experience this, right? Regardless of it's commitment, right? That's for both. But what I'm trying to say with that is that you're not your work ethic is not good enough, right? It's just not good enough. So you will experience this, because this doesn't mean that you work like crazy. What this means is that you tend to you're undisciplined. You're undisciplined. You will feel sad some days, and then you're like, oh, I'm not gonna produce. Or you'll feel happy, and then you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna produce a lot. And so it's going to be like that, right? The next reason why you have these ups and downs is because you are trying to do everything yourself. Okay, so there's two reasons. One of them, your work ethic is not good. This could be emotional stuff. This could be bad habits. All this stuff. It's all emotional. It's really mental, right? It's all the bad habits. It's all the bad information. You think that you shouldn't work that hard, so you stop yourself, and instead of moving forward. So that's one of the reasons why you have this. The second reason, again, I'm going to say this again, the second reason why you have these ups and downs in your career is because you're trying to do everything yourself. Or it's just one or two of you. And you're trying to take over the world. You're trying to take on the world. The second one is very painful because it's easily fixed once you get the work ethic down. The problem is that you won't see it. You won't see it. When you are doing everything yourself, you're suckered into believing that if you just work a little harder, you can do that, and you don't have to delegate it to someone, or you don't have to get people to help you. And it's a huge mistake. Now, hear me out on this. If your work ethic is not on point, you could have people helping you, and it's not going to help, right? So you need to first get your work ethic down. Your work ethic has to be on point. What I mean by this is that you work when you don't feel like working, right? You do things you don't feel like doing. You do uncomfortable things. Pick up the phone, you call someone that you haven't called before, and you tell them about your artwork, or you visit a gallery and you tell them about your artwork. That's very uncomfortable. It's a cold call. It's a very uncomfortable situation. You need to practice and rehearse this. You need to practice your pitch. You need to rehearse the way you talk to people, and on and on and on, right? But you won't get it down until you practice it enough. So you have to do it over and over. How about making any sense to any of you out there with this kind of stuff? So once you get your work ethic down, the next thing to do is to stop trying to do everything yourself. This will be the thing that will drag you. It will kick your ass. It will put you in the back of a truck, and it'll drag you for life. It'll just drag you for life. This is the number one reason why businesses don't grow. Why you are suffering in your art business. The number one reason why you're suffering in your art business, it's not your artwork. It's not that you don't work hard. It's not that you're lazy. It's not that you are the economy. It's none of that. The number one reason, okay, why you're not selling artwork, or why you're not selling more of it, or you're not getting more exhibits, or on and on and on, is because you're doing it yourself. That's the number one reason. You're trying to do it yourself. And this is a very difficult endeavor. It's a very difficult endeavor to do it yourself. You're doing it yourself. You're doing it with a partner. You shouldn't. I'm going to tell you right now, you should stop. You should go and make a decision. Right? You should make a decision. You should say, I'm only going to do this as a hobby. Okay? And do it as a hobby. Or, I'm committed to this and go and grow. And go and meet people and get people to help you. Doesn't mean that you have to hire them right off the bat. It might mean that you exchange artwork with them for services. It might mean that I don't know. It might mean that you can only hire part-time. Whatever it is. But if you're trying to do this gig yourself, this whole artpreneur and all this stuff, it's going to be very difficult. I'm not saying this to put anyone down or off or make anyone say, oh, okay, well, Jose said it's not even worth it. No, it's not worth it if you're trying to do it yourself. It's definitely not worth it. Hands down. It's for a crazy person. If you want to ram your head on the wall over and over, go ahead and try to do it yourself. This whole entrepreneur thing is got to be a team, guys. It's team building. I did not understand this for years. This is team building. I had this shit wrong all the time, the whole time. If you don't build a team, okay? If you don't build a team and figure out how you can pay them, figure out how you can compensate them. Maybe you build a team where you get a couple of people that help you sell, and every time one of those pieces sells, instead of giving 50% to the gallery, you give 50% to that person. Imagine if that person is actually a salesperson, or that person has a community of people, and they know this. Look, every time you promote me, every time you talk about me, every time you know, if you do this every day, right? If you do this every day, every time I sell one of those paintings that I give you to post, figure it out. There's got to be a way. I know there's a way. Figure it out. Give them a link that only they can have, and that's how you can track what they sell. Kind of like affiliates, you know. And then that person's helping you. Yeah,
It's telling me to turn off the internet. How do I do that?
To turn off the internet? Really?
It says turn off your router, and then turn it back on.
Oh, you know how? That red button.
Will I turn off that?
No, not this. You won't turn off this, but that red button. Turn it off for about 2 minutes.
Hold on.
No, turn it off for about 2 minutes, and then you can turn it back on. Okay? For about 2 minutes, okay? So, this is how this game is played, guys. This is a team. It's a team game. Now, it's driven by you, the artist. And if you're not operating at max capacity, it's not going to work either. So this is the funny thing. That which one is it? It's both. This is how I always talk. It's both. It's not one or the other. You got to have both. You got to operate at max capacity, and you got to have a team. Okay, so you got to be pumping. You have to be working. You have to be looking for opportunity, and the things that you can put someone else to do, someone else should be doing them. Okay, the things that you are doing that are not that someone else can do, and there are many things that you are doing that someone else can do. Facebook ads, posting stuff on Facebook. You shouldn't be doing that. Someone else should be doing that. Packaging paintings, you shouldn't be doing that. Someone else should be doing that. What else? Oh my God, there's just so much. I mean, the whole marketing phase, the whole marketing aspect of it. You know, this doesn't mean that you don't continue to do marketing, but now you're not relying on your limited time, right? You're adding to the fuel. See, I have someone doing marketing for me, right? Doesn't mean I'm not going to do these videos. I'm adding to the fuel. I'm adding. Right? I'm adding. I know I will outwork anyone around me. I'm adding to the fuel.
How do I turn off the thing because we don't have internet?
Oh, he's doing it already. Dan went to do it already. And so I'm adding to the fuel. Whatever I'm doing, it's only to add. Someone else is taking care of that. So anyways, guys, if you are in a place where you're like, man, I want to grow, I want to make a living out of doing this, and you know, on and on and on, I'm telling you what how the game looks ahead. When you start out, you got to start out yourself. I totally get that, but don't stay there, guys. It's such a painful ride to do it yourself. At best, here's the best case scenario, okay? I know nobody talks about this, and I know nobody is saying this online. Nobody's saying this kind of shit on Instagram or on YouTube or anything. Here's the best case scenario, guys, okay? At best, you'll make about $100K selling your artwork. At best, okay, a year. This is what happens to most artists that are like, oh my god, I'm monetizing. At best, the best case scenario, you're going to be making about $100K a year selling your artwork. About 40% of that is going to be taxes. Okay, if you live in the U.S. If you live in any city in the U.S., your expenses and the expenses to fund that activity, the canvases, the materials, right? The driving around and all of that. That's going to take half of what you had, of your remaining 60. At best, the best case scenario is that you're going to be earning about $30,000 a month. The best case scenario, if you keep trying to do this yourself. You get what I'm saying? It's not genius math. It's very simple math. Make about $100K. 40 goes to the government. Taxes. Okay. You keep 60. 30 goes for your expenses. And you made a profit of $30,000 a year. The best case scenario. The problem with that is that you won't be able to grow. Because you would have to take that 30 and give it to someone so that they can help you grow. So you end up with nothing. See? It's very simple, guys. When you start out, you need to start growing from the beginning so that you don't get to this place where you see, when you start out, you need to start growing so that you are continuously creating more opportunities and getting more income, getting more revenue. So as you get more revenue, you grow more. You fund the activity, and you grow and you grow. And as you're growing, okay, you will find that now you have flexibility. If you don't grow, you will not have flexibility. You're like this. You're cramped. You're packaging the paintings. You're making the paintings. You're typing stuff on Facebook. You're a little bit of income comes in and you want to use it for marketing, or you want to use it for buying more materials. So you're operating like this. You're by yourself. You're walking. I know this, guys. I did this shit for 7 years. I know this. My first year I started making 6 figures. I made over $100,000 my first year working as a full-time artist. And I was walking around like this. You're afraid all the time. You don't know that. You think everything's fine, but you're afraid all the time because I can't go there because then I won't have time to paint. I can't do that because then I don't have time to package. So you're operating like this. And if you're not careful, and you don't get out of that fast, you got to move out of that fast, and you got to bring in people. Take some of the money that you're earning, bring someone in. Take some of the money. They're gonna help you. How can I say this? Help people that come and help you in your studio don't cost you money. They help you earn. But this is a hidden secret. Most people don't know this. This is why most small businesses fail, because they don't want to hire. You need to hire to expand. I didn't know this. I try to do everything myself. And when we are artists, we're told that you're an artist. They even have this stupid word, solopreneur or artpreneur. Don't do that, guys. Don't call yourself a solopreneur or artpreneur unless you want to be put in the back of a truck and get your ass kicked and put in the back of a truck and ride. Don't do that. Don't call yourself a solopreneur or an artpreneur. Call yourself a business. Like Jay-Z says, I'm a business man. I'm not a businessman, I'm a business man. You're supposed to be a business. This is something that I'm sharing with you guys that no other artist is going to tell you. I know this. You know why? Because I know what game they're playing. They're playing the I'm by myself game. I'm alone. I'm doing it myself. And anyone who's in business, who's actually successful in business, will relate to what I'm saying. I know this. I've talked to plenty of people that are successful in business. Anyone that is successful in business will relate and will agree with what I'm saying. You cannot stay by yourself. It is not scalable. You doing it by yourself, it's not a scalable formula. It does not work. Eva says, I'm just trying to work a day job and build a body of work, which isn't easy. Thank you, Jose. Yeah. But that's good. See, that's where you start. You figure out where you start. What I'm talking about is when you're ahead of the game, right? When you're starting out, of course, you want to build a body of work. You want to create your artwork. You want to create a space for your studio and you know. But one of the things that I always tell artists is figure out where you're taking this, so that you don't make the mistakes that are unnecessary. The painful ones. Figure out where you're taking it. Is this a serious thing? I mean, serious as in, is this a personal thing that you are, you're looking to fulfill a life as an artist, right? And you don't care about opportunities, getting paid or getting known or anything like that. You just want to create the artwork on the lines of hobby, but it's not a hobby. It's something personal, right? They figure out where you place that. Is this just a hobby? Figure out where to place it. But if this is something that you want to do for a living, you want to be a paid artist, well, baby, you got to separate this. You got to put it somewhere else. Eva says, Eva Chancellor says, yes, you're right. I had a successful small business fail because I couldn't keep up and I didn't hire help. You see, just hear this, guys. Hear this. I'm going to repeat this again for those of you who are not reading this. Eva Chancellor says, yes, you're right. I had a successful small business fail because I couldn't keep up and I didn't hire help. This is about 80% of small businesses just in America. This happens to us. This is the same thing that has been happening to me, Eva. I completely agree with that. I completely understand this. An artist that does not hire will not become successful at monetizing. Okay, I'm talking about monetizing now. Okay, I'm not talking about doing it as a hobby or doing it for as a vocational career. I'm talking about becoming a paid artist. It will not work if you're trying to do it yourself. There's just no way. You can't keep up with everything. You're going to start scratching your head and start asking questions like, man, maybe I don't work hard enough, or maybe I'm not disciplined enough, or maybe you're going to start coming with all kinds of things around it. But the only reason why you can't grow is because you're trying to do it all yourself. Maybe it's just you or your wife or you or a friend, and it doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. It doesn't. It's never worked that way. Because to be an artist is to be open for retail, guys. You're in the retail space. I don't care if it's e-commerce. I don't care if it's galleries. Galleries are retail stores. We just call them galleries, but they're retail shops. They're in luxury. Some of them are not. High-end retail shops that sell high-end wall decor, wall art, right? They are retail shops. And if you're trying to do it yourself, all you're doing is dragging you're dragging a ball and chain around. You can't do that. It doesn't work. You're not going to go anywhere like that. So again, guys, this is information that I know other artists are not going to tell you, because other artists are like, oh, just be happy and paint. Well, yeah, if you're doing it as a hobby, or yeah, if you're doing it as a personal journey, you know, as a personal journey, as a vocational thing. Maybe you have your daytime job. I know plenty of people that are professionals. They have their professional careers, but they're also artists, right? And that is a vocational thing. But then there's the rest of us also, who there's different types of artists, right? Then there's people like me who are like, man, I want to make a living doing this, because, you know, this is what I want to do as a career, right? This is the only thing I want to do. I don't know how to do anything else. I don't know how to do anything else. I know how to paint, right? So how can I monetize? How can I get paid for doing this? If you're like me, no one else will tell you this, guys. Because most people don't monetize their artwork. And the ones that do, many of them, I've met a handful of them, they're in limbo. They don't get it. They're like, oh yeah, I'm doing so great. But it's a small business. You can't do so great making $100K a year, guys. You can't do so great because you're giving half of that to the government, and the half that is left, it's for expenses. I'm not talking about personal expenses. I'm talking about the business expenses. Then it's your personal expenses, where you live, you know, you eat, if you have a family, and on and on and on and on. This is a set of different expenses. I'm talking about the expenses to maintain the business. The art materials, most people are like, well, how much could it cost? You know, canvases. If you're doing it for a living, oh man, you don't know what you're getting yourself into. If you're doing it for a living, it's a small business, guys. There's expenses for everything. More internet services, right? More internet services. More this, more that. A large studio, right? A large studio. More paint. More canvases. More brushes. Materials, you know, marketing. I haven't even touched on marketing, hiring people, right? Office equipment, I don't know, electricity, insurance, and on and on and on and on. It does not work. I'm not trying to turn you off. I'm trying to say, look, guys, go get help. When you begin, you have to go get help. This is a single thing that has nailed me to a cross. This is the single number one thing that has nailed me as a small business owner. It has nailed me to a cross, guys. It has made it so painful. The single one thing is that you stay small. You stay you. Even if you're a realtor, you need to have 2-3 people helping you. You guys know this. Those of you, I have some friends in realty, man, they have 2-3 people helping them, putting signs, doing this, doing that. Going in and meeting prospects, right? Because someone has to be closing the deals, and that's you. You're the closer, right? You're the salesperson. You're the realtor. Someone else has to be opening and showing houses. Someone else, because that way you can show more houses. Because if you're doing it yourself, you're limited to how many houses you can show, right? So you get it. You get it? It's people, guys. It's a team. Build a team. You're an artist, build a team. I know I've nailed this. I've hammered this so much. But your art career will suffer. You will suffer. Your family will have a hard time if you don't build a team. Build a team. Okay? Get this, guys. I'll leave you with that. My name's Jose Trujillo. I'm an artist. I hope that you guys found this valuable. And go for it. Take care. Bye-bye.